Mama Dr. Jones, OBGYN, and Mom 24. Today, we're doing both of our favorite things, which is watching TV together. Okay, maybe that's not your favorite thing. Quintessential OBGYN material. I didn't know I was pregnant. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe. If you don't, YouTube will implode. So go ahead and hit the little subscribe button right down here in the corner.
Mom didn't want to have no more kids. She was done after 2.
I made the decision in 1999 to have my tubes tied. It was a huge load off my mind not to have to worry about becoming pregnant.
She's talking about getting her tubes tied. It's a misnomer to call tubal ligation tying your tubes, because what we actually do in most cases, and not in every case, but in most cases, we actually take a segment of the tube out. Now we are moving towards sometimes taking all of the fallopian tube out, and then occasionally we also use things like clips or rings, which I don't personally love using those unless there's a specific reason, because they're just slightly less effective than taking out a segment of the tube. But that's how it's typically done. It's not tying like a piece of string. What this does is makes it very difficult for the egg, which ovulates outside near the end of the tube at the ovary, to get through the tube where usually the sperm would come up through the uterus and meet it. It's like a sperm barrier. Don't pass go. Do not collect $200. There is no egg waiting for you on the other side of this. Actually, there is an egg, but you can't get to it because it doesn't want you. No sperm. Stay on that side.
October of 2007 was the last menstrual cycle I had. I was 46 years old. I'd had my tubes tied. I figured I was starting through menopause.
I think that's an assumption that a lot of people would make. She's had her tubes tied. It's lasted her for many years, so what she probably thought is that she's going through menopause. Spoiler alert, I think her menopause is going to have a heartbeat. The average age of menopause is 51, and she said she's 46, I think. So she was 5 years off from that, but that's an average. That means a lot of women go through menopause younger. I would always tell this patient to go ahead and take a pregnancy test. If you stop having periods all of a sudden, no matter what the situation, take a pregnancy test. On the flip side of that, I can kind of see how that would happen.
By the end of August, Barbara is puzzled by a mysterious weight gain.
That was when I figured this is a tumor. To break down and go to a hospital was to admit that there was something wrong. If I denied it, then it couldn't possibly be so.
I sometimes watch these and I think, like, I just don't know how these people didn't know they were pregnant. This is a case where I can see why she would think that. You should always take a pregnancy test, but I can see why she was in this position. I do want to interject here because I feel like a lot of us would do something like this, and it can be really scary when you think something's going on and it worries you. Even if it wasn't that she was pregnant, if she had something going on like a tumor, that's important to know too. And I know it can be scary. It can be scary going to the doctor. It can be scary worrying about what's going on, but that doesn't make it go away if you don't have it checked out. And it's important when you're worried, just get it checked out. I would much rather have 10 patients who are worried about something that we check it out and it's nothing than have one person like her who's at home and scared and feels like they have nobody to talk to and chooses not to get care because they are anxious about it.
They had to come and get me. I was bent over with such severe pain I couldn't even move. Suddenly I felt a tremendous amount of pressure between my legs and in my pelvic area. The pressure was so bad that I truly thought at that point I was dead.
I think I said this in the last one, but can you imagine how scary that would be if you didn't know you were pregnant and had that amount of pain? Like, I feel like the only thing you might think is, yeah, I'm probably dying. The chances of a tubal ligation failing are from about 7 to 35 in 1,000, depending on the method used. The most common method, and the method most of us prefer, has a failure rate of about 7 to 9 in 1,000, which is less than 1%. That is a very reliable form of contraception. I don't want anybody to like watch this and think, oh my gosh, I should be worried my tubal's gonna fail. It should just go through your head that like if something unusual is going on and you've had your tubes tied, just take a pregnancy test, especially if you're not having periods. I'm not saying she should have done that. I can totally see how she'd end up not knowing she was pregnant given how this all happened. But if you're ever in that situation, just take a pregnancy test or go in and talk to your doctor or your advanced practice provider.
Barbara had her tubes tied after raising 2 teenage children. Now the 46-year-old gets the shock of her.
At age 46, in somebody who's had their tubes tied, I can't do all the math calculations in my head, but so the chances of her tubal failing are about 7 to 9 in 1,000. So that's like, I don't know, it's low. It's less than 1%. And the chances of a spontaneous pregnancy in someone who's 45, if they don't have their tubes tied, is really only about 3 to 5% because of age and egg quality. And then out of those who do get pregnant after the age of 45, the risk of miscarriage is about 50%. We're talking conception that doesn't happen with the aid of fertility medicine or donor eggs and things like that. This is pretty miraculous. I don't know what's going to end up happening with the baby, but the fact that she's had her tubes tied for like 8 years and she's 45, she spontaneously got pregnant, and it seems like has carried a baby to near term is nothing short of miraculous to me.
This was a baby coming out of me. I wasn't dying. I was just going to be a mother again.
She did think she was dying. I told you guys that that's what I would think too. She said I wasn't dying. I knew that that's what I would think. Probably what she thinks. That would be very scary.
There was not a lot of pushing. He just came out, and Art lunges toward him so he wouldn't fall off.
Can we just take a minute to recognize the dad though? I mean, come on. Had no idea what was happening, realizes it's a baby, calls for the nurse, lunges to the baby, keeps it from falling onto the floor, catches him. I mean, come on. Honorary obstetrician award for you, Dad.
1 minute, something felt like it was coming out of me. The next minute, here was this baby.
Well, that's how it happens.
Instantly took the baby away.
Okay, we need to get the placenta out now.
The doctors delivered the placenta, stitched me up, gave me some pain medication.
I'm sure she was in the emergency room, not labor and delivery, when she started feeling like this, just judging by her story. So I don't know. I wonder at what point they called the obstetrician, or if there was even an obstetrician in the hospital. ER doctors are capable and trained to deliver babies in this situation, but it's not usually on the top of their like, yeah, I want to do that when I go to work today. I would love to hear from the ER doctor and the nurses who were there and not used to taking care of women who are pregnant or delivering babies, to hear what their take on the situation was. One of the things I sometimes see is that in situations like this where a baby's coming in a place that we don't expect, which for us most of the time is like a parking lot delivery or a car delivery right outside the hospital, everybody's rushing, trying to cut the cord. Clamp the cord, cut the cord. It makes me giggle because we wait usually at least a minute before we cut the cord. Just take a step back. The baby's out, it's crying, we're good. Give baby to mom. Just leave everything attached. We'll wheel you up to labor and delivery. We'll do this in a controlled fashion. I think it's a natural inclination because you want to do something to help, but when a baby's coming like this and it's really fast, most of the time, if they're full term, which I don't know yet if this baby is, most of the time if they're coming that quickly, there's not going to be a whole lot you have to do. If it was always that easy, I wouldn't have a job.
5.5-pound baby boy.
I was scared to death that something was wrong with him. He was absolutely healthy.
I fell in love the minute I seen him.
The most amazing feeling I had ever felt.
I don't feel like everybody, and like myself, would be able to go from, oh my gosh, I hurt, to I think I'm dying, to a tumor is coming out of me, to having a baby that I had taken a lot of precautions not to have, to I'm so amazed and thankful that the baby is healthy. Like, I think that is so fast to come full circle. Like, it blows my mind when I listen to stories like this and think like, what must go through your head. I do want to also say, like, if you're ever in a situation where you have a planned or unplanned delivery and you don't immediately feel attached to the baby, that's okay too, and it doesn't make you a bad mom. When my babies came out, I loved them. I would have thrown myself in front of a bus for them because they were mine. But at the same time, I kind of felt like, I mean, I kind of need a chance to get to know them. I've never met them. Let's take a moment to like get to know each other. I think that's really awesome. I think she is really admirable from going to unexpected to in love that fast. But if you are ever in a situation where you have a baby, whether it's like this or completely planned and known about the whole time, and you don't immediately feel like starry-eyed love for a baby that you just met, that's okay too. I think that you can be a great mother even if you just love your baby when it comes out because it's yours and not because you feel this like deep-seated love. It eventually came for me with all of my babies. Obviously, being a mother is my #1 favorite thing I've ever done on planet Earth, but I didn't feel like starry-eyed love connection immediately. I don't know. Now that I'm saying that, it sounds crazy, but surely I'm not the only one who needed a little bit of time to get to know another human. Again, I would have thrown myself in front of a train because I know that's my baby and I love it, and it wasn't like I felt like I didn't love the baby. I don't know. I needed to get to know it.
I had a new baby brother, and I was like, I just wanted a little baby brother all my life.
Y'all, she said, I just wanted a baby brother my whole life. That is so sweet. I think I'm gonna cry.
We decided to name him Hunter.
Because he snuck up on us.
I knew he had to be something special because he was born against all odds.
Oh my gosh. I love their description of his name. We decided to name him Hunter because he snuck up on us. That is truly the best name story I've ever heard. My mom had no idea she was pregnant. She had this miraculous pregnancy at 46 after getting her tubes tied and carried me to term, or near term, because I was 5.5 pounds, without knowing, delivered me suddenly in an emergency room, and named me Hunter because I snuck up on her. I love that so much. I have heard a lot of really great name stories. It may very well be the best one ever. Like, it's so good. I loved this episode, you guys. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, we would love to have you. You might surprisingly leave informed when you thought you were being entertained. Be kind to yourself, to each other, to me. In the comments, be kind, and I will see you next time.